Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Group 5 and my name is Dao Phương Ly. It's my pleasure to be here with all of you today. And now, let's start our presentation today with the topic The Hostile Powers and Fake News on Facebook about flood in central Vietnam. Our group has 4 members, Đào Phương Ly, Nguyễn Thu Phương, Nguyễn Nhật Linh, and Nguyễn Thị Thu Uyên. Our presentation today includes 4 parts: a brief introduction, the languages and contents of the fake news, the reaction of the netizen to the fake news, and finally, the fight against fake news from the hostile powers. The very first part of our presentation is a brief introduction of the topic. Firstly, I want you to look at these pictures that I'm showing you on the screen. Can you guess the situation? Of course, it is about the catastrophic flood in Vietnam in 2020. More than 100 people are dead and thousands of homes have been submerged in some of Vietnam's most severe floods in decades, with authorities warning that more bad weather is to come. But this video is not going to talk about the situation of floods in Vietnam. The thing here is that while the people of the whole country are joining hands with the compatriots of Central Vietnam to overcome the catastrophic flood, on Facebook, many villains have taken advantage of the natural disaster and epidemic to release rumor and fake news, not only confusing public opinion, but many objects also callously insult the honor and noble sacrifice of the soldier who fell to protect the people's life. They even impersonate the authorities or the government to spread fake news in order to carry out political intrigue. A series of fake information appear rampant and outburst. For example, a fan page which always posts fake news, opposition political organization Việt Tân, with more than 1.2 million people like fan page. It posted the image of a boy covered in mud and dirt with the caption that a baby coming from Quảng Trị was saved from the ground, accompanied by a series of words distorting the party's guidelines and policies. However, in fact, this is the image of a boy falling while playing near the field, which were published by the press since June 2020, 5 months before the flood happened. They even impersonate the government with bad political motive in order to distort and defame organizations and individuals. Overall, Vietnam nowadays is one of the top 10 countries in the world in terms of the number of social media users, with nearly 64 million Facebook accounts. This is really a simple, quick, and effective way to let villains spread fake information. So now, to help you to understand more about the languages and contents that some opposition political organizations use to spread fake news, let's move on to the next part of our presentation, which will be in charge of by my friend Nguyễn Thu Phương.
I would like to tell about the analyzation of language and content in fake news, taking advantage of the public attention and concern during the flood season in central Vietnam. Many people create fake news against the government and state in different ways to attract the public attention. I focus on 3 ways to spread fake news: taking advantage of famous influencer official information basis, sympathetic and emotional words and images, and sarcastic tone and language. The first way to spread fake news is taking advantage of famous influencer official information base such as the party and the state with a few 100,000 followers. When looking at the interface of a Facebook page, readers easily believe that this is an official information-based state and immediately follow the direction of the state. But the content of the article clear so that the disdain and injustice to individuals and groups who are donating to the people affected by the flood in the central Vietnam. If you read the post carefully, you may find the words seem to have polished your names, sound Socratic, informal, and not proper from the state-owned website. Other words in this post, we will donate to official organizations such as the Red Cross, press agency, the military who are on duty day and nights in the naval area. The purpose of this post is to mislead people around the government policy. After reading this post, readers may think that the government is denying the efforts of sponsors who go to the flood area for charity. Moreover, this page even takes advantage of a well-known person who has significant influence on the public and the fact that a single is actively donating to support the flood-affected person to spread false information, defame state agency. They think that she called for donation to polish names so that people should not support and believe her. The second way expressing fake news is that sympathetic and emotional words and images. This leads to attitude that people will be willing to share emotion without verifying whether the information is right or wrong. According to Việt Tân newspaper, this is a picture of a Quảng Trị baby being saved from the ground. In the first glance with a brief words, the photo made the reader feel pity from the muddy boy and then turned to complain the government for not caring about the rescue for the child in flood area. Việt Tân newspaper said that, looking at the image, think of the little villa made of precious wood. Looking at the child image, thinking that the party wasted money from the people touched for a concrete, which is not helpful for the people. The tactics they use and perform here is respected. Looking at the image to arouse the reader comparison and make sure of two things happening at the same time to compare and contrast. Therefore, those caring about the comparison between flood in central region and organizing Congress to distort indifference of the party and the state. The picture purpose is to make public opinion misinterpreted, saying that the party, state, and local authorities do not care about people's life, leaving people in the most difficult situation. Leaders only care about the luxury life. Moreover, it is not necessary to spend a large amount of tax money to organize party congress at all levels at this time. The last one, they use Socratic tone and language with half fake and half real news to tell about fake news. The image of two policemen on the way to rescue the victims of floods in Hà Tĩnh appeared on the post of Việt Tân newspaper, but the captain of the post is another poor acting a policeman. In the first sentence of the post is Socratic tones and language. This way immediately catches the attention and interest of the reader. Look at your picture. It is difficult to realize that the picture is true or not. In this post, the information is half fake and half real. It's true that police keeps the post running up the motorcycle for more than 2 kilometers to save people in floods. But the picture is attracted to a Dân newspaper is fake news because it's only a product of Photoshop originated from the image in VTV24 News Central. Along with that is the sarcasm. Maybe the whole Thạch Đài commune police headquarters could not have a road, so the police official had to run 2 kilometers to save people. The protest against the government used sarcastic words such as maybe, but why do have to do it, aim to show that the state agencies are not care to support inhabitants during the flood season. The purpose of this book is the reactionary forces deliberately distorting the truth, making false claims to mislead the public, and dividing the close relation between the party and the state and the public.
Hi, I'm Yilin and I will continue with the reactions of Vietnamese netizens on Facebook with these fake news in regards to the floods in central Vietnam. As we can see on the post of some hostile pages like Viettel, Vietnamese BBC News, Vietnamese VOA or IFA, there's a lot of negative comments showing the agreements with these fake news, many of which even show the disaffections with Vietnamese Communist Party. On the contrary, there are also some people who disagree with the fake news. They left their comment to argue with the point of the post. Let's look at some typical examples that I taken from two hostile pages. On October the 12th, there was a post on Coolwood Coffees with the image of a man who has lost his wife on the way to hospital due to the flood. However, the cause that this page mentioned was the leadership of the Vietnamese Communist Party, while the government are not built hospital and roads. Commenting on this post, lots of Facebookers agree with that opinion, and there are two of them. For those who have the comments, the authority doesn't have responsibility when the flood occurs. On the contrary, there are also some arguments against the boat implies that even in some advanced countries, flood is also inevitable and Vietnamese governments did their best to save the lives of their people. On November the 2nd, the image of two policemen on the way to rescue the victim of flood in Hà Tĩnh appeared on the post of Viettel, but the caption of the post is another poor acting of policemen. The post attracted hundreds of comments and many of them are negative comments that attack the police in the picture in particular and also some policemen in general. Here are some comments that I have chosen. The first one is to advise the owner of the picture to learn how to combine images, which means that the pictures is only a product of Photoshop. The second comment is to criticize the policemen in general because they have got many Vietnamese in trouble. The two other comments are to complain about the policies as well as the political system of Vietnam with the leadership of Communist Party. For them, every bad thing in the world originates from communism. Also on this post, many others commented to show their disagreement and even to pick a quarrel with Viettel. Here you can see a comment that not only shows the disagreement with the fake news, but also to affirm that the hostile power cannot use fake news to mislead the society. Some other comments remind of the historical events in 1975 with a disregarded attitude towards those who left Vietnam and use social media to conduct propaganda against the state. On many Facebook pages that are anti-reactionary, the posts to argue with the fake news about floods were updated and also remind people about the sacrifice of the soldiers who directly rescued the victims in the floods, not those staying at home to comment negatively on Facebook. The post also receives a huge attention from the community, with many comments and agreements. To conclude the examples, I had two image with the hashtag "How much have you changed?" challenge that you can see on Facebook these days. Some hostile powers are remnants of the old society, and some are outsiders who want to utilize hot event like floods to overthrow the Vietnamese state and party. From this example, we can see that there are two major ways that Vietnamese nations react to fake news. One is accepting and agreeing, and the other is realizing and arguing with the fake news. Once natural disaster still occurs and causes damage in terms of humans and fortunes, the hostile power can still have chances to conduct fake news against the state. With the huge amount of information on Facebook released every day, it's quite hard for the government to control fake news and for people who avoid receiving fake news, especially the fake news from the hostile powers. However, there are still some ways to prevent the spreading of fake news on social media and on Facebook to be specific. So what's the solution? Let's see our last part with Win.
Hi guys, my name is Uyên, and now I'm gonna talk about the fight against fake news from the hostile powers. In this part, I want to mention two main aspects: individual responsibilities and the proper authorities and agency responsibilities. First of all, in the fight against fake news, each individual has an important role in receiving and transmitting information. Fighting misinformation is not only to protect ourselves when using Facebook, but also to demonstrate our responsibilities to the whole community. Check out these 5 fake news detection tips that will help each of us become discerning news consumers. 1. Be skeptical of the title. Wrong news stories often have sensational, exaggerated, or deliberate headlines. Fake news often use compelling headlines to increase readership, online shares, and internet click-through revenue. 2. Investigate the source. Check the news source to make sure it has been written by a trustworthy source. The source must have a reputation for accuracy. If the story comes from an unfamiliar organization, visit the About section of the website to learn more about the organization and the publisher. 3. Read the article style. Click on it and check out the website. If it's full of ads, if it's full of spelling mistakes, if there is a satire disclaimer hidden at the bottom of the page, don't share it. 4. If you're not sure about the information, don't share, don't like, don't comment, because that will make Facebook think it's more important than it should be. 5. If you know it's fake news, don't start commenting or liking it with an angry face. Don't do that because Facebook will think, oh, this story has impact. People care about this. We should show it to more people. So don't do that. Report it instead. Besides encouraging Facebook users to be alert not to become the victim of misinformation and fake news, the Ministry of Information and Communication is implementing many solutions to handle and prevent fake information, in which nearly 4,500 videos and 3,000 links with content that violates Vietnamese laws have been removed. Vietnam's new cybersecurity law was promulgated on the 12th of June in 2018 and came into effect on the 1st of January in 2019, aiming to meet the need to protect national security and ensure social order and safety in cyberspace. Domestic and foreign enterprises providing services on telecommunications networks or the Internet or providing value-added services in cyberspace in Vietnam must verify information when users register digital accounts and keep user information and accounts confidential. Additionally, they have to provide user information to the Ministry of Public Security's Force When receiving the letters written request to serve investigation and handle legal violations of cybersecurity. In closing, I'd like to quote a comment made by George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright, critic, and political activist. Be aware of the false knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.